Okay, so I've wanted to do this video for a long time, so pretty much here it goes. I wrote a little speech intro because I'm pretty much a comms major, so kind of had to do it, but I got it from Wikipedia, so whatever, it's my little story. But my intro thing is from Wikipedia, and it's a definition of intrusive thoughts. Um, I know I shouldn't be quoting this, but they are unwelcome, involuntary thoughts, images, or unpleasant ideas that may become obsessions. They're very upsetting or distressing and can be difficult to manage or eliminate. They are associated with the obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, and these thoughts may become paralyzing or anxiety-provoking. So I wanted to take you guys through my story and pretty much what I've been dealing with. I've had OCD since I had OCD when I was younger. The excessive hand washing. I was always afraid I was going to get sick, so I'd wash my hands 10 times, blah, blah, blah. But all that went away when I started middle school. And I've always struggled with feeling anxious. So when I was in grade school, I was put on Zoloft and clonazepam for my OCD and anxiety. I stayed on this medicine until I was about a sophomore in high school, and this is pretty much where my story starts. I was taken off this medicine completely because the doctors thought I was doing well, and truthfully, I was. I was doing, well, whatever. I wasn't doing the greatest in high school, but like worry wise, I was an awesome person. I was outgoing, like, I didn't have any worries. But almost immediately after I stopped taking the medicine, I started having trouble sleeping because my mind would constantly be worrying or picking up thoughts, and there were nights, weeks where I just wouldn't sleep at all at night because my mind wouldn't just turn off, and then I'd be worrying about falling asleep. So I told my mom about this, but all she said was, you're probably just addicted to the clonazepam, which this was a side effect. I don't blame my mom in any way because at such a young age, even I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what I was going through. I didn't know what was right, what was wrong, how I was supposed to be feeling. So on another side note, I've always been quirky and weird, and everyone knows that. But I realize now that it's a good thing and it makes me different. So in high school, people jokingly would always be like, "Emily, you're so weird." But to fact check that now, they still hung out with me, etc. They didn't mean it in a bad way. I can't remember the exact date this happened, but because my brain was constantly picking up thoughts and I felt anxious all the time, my OCD that I thought was gone picked up this intrusive thought that I was weird and that nobody wanted to hang with me. Pretty much they were just negative thoughts that were constantly put into my head, and they made me feel sick and unwanted. It was almost like a depression, and I was embarrassed to tell anyone about this because I felt that they wouldn't understand. I just wanted to be normal. Like, I wanted to be a normal high schooler. I didn't want my parents to look down upon me. So I kept this a secret for 6 years. No medication, nothing. And to tell you the truth, it completely wrecked me. These thoughts would come in any encounter I would have with anyone. If someone were to be like, "Hey, Emily," my brain would tell me, "They hate you. You're weird. They don't want to be talking to you." No, it wasn't a voice. It was these intrusive, obsessive thoughts that would come every encounter I would have with a person. I would put on a happy face and for the most part started avoiding social situations, or I would cut the time spent with someone because I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't like it was like just negative energy of all these negative thoughts whenever I would talk to someone. This is probably extremely hard to understand, but I've done research on it and I know I'm not alone. I feel like I just have an extreme case of this because I didn't get help until 6 years later. It was my first year at NIU. I remember it like it was pretty much yesterday. I was ready to go back to school from spring break, and I finally had the guts to tell my mom, and truthfully, I've never cried so hard in my life. I just physically couldn't handle the thoughts anymore. I didn't want to be around people in my dorm. I would avoid them by going to the library and doing homework, and truthfully, every option I had to get drunk, I would get drunk just so the thought would be gone and so I would feel free. I still have these thoughts now, and they do happen constantly, but they will never be as bad as they were. I used to never be able to make eye contact with people, and I always felt fidgety and anxious. I hid it so well that, like, pretty much no one even knew. My parents had no idea. Friends had no idea. I'm sure teachers had no idea. But every year since I've told, I've gotten better, and especially with my confidence. I'm more open to discussing this, and I'm open with my doctor so that he's able to find the right medicine. I've come a long way, and I know that I still have a long way to go, but I've never given up. Trust me, there are days where I still break down and cry, and I'm like, why is my brain like this? Why is this happening to me? But there's something inside of me that tells me to not give up and to keep going, because truthfully, it's so much better than it was before. And I know I probably sound like a recording saying this, but I had to write it all down, otherwise I wouldn't know how to like say it because I can't think on the spot pretty much. But I may not have had many relationships in the past because this thought has just pretty much like made me want to be alone, not want to be with people, because it was just constant. You're weird, you're stupid, blah blah blah, like obsessive thoughts. Um, it completely took over my life. I'm learning how to build the relationships now back with my friends and family, and I still have dreams of moving to California. And to tell you the truth, I don't know where I'll be in 5 years. I couldn't even tell you where I'm going to be in 1 year. But I'm glad to have support from my family and friends, and I've never let this get in the way of my dream, which truthfully, I don't know what that dream is, but I'm not sure yet. And I know that my faith and everything will push me in the right direction and everything's going to turn out okay. And pretty much, I just want people to know that it's okay to feel weak. Don't hide anything. We're human. Real people have problems. We feel sad. We feel depressed. That's what makes the way up seem so great. Once you fall down, you can only go up. Just don't ever give up. I'm sure nobody really knows or has been through what I've been through, but relate this back to your life and your goals, and honestly, just be the best person that you can be. And this is my anxiety story. Yeah, okay, well, here it goes.